Hello,
Raider
friends.
Nation,
Welcome
you're watching
into
the Raiders
Cowboys
Report.
This is my show, damn it.
No, it's the Raiders Report.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Rock, paper, lizard, Spock. It's the Raiders Report. What's going on here?
Cheating.
So we do have some breaking news, and this is a simulcast on the Raiders Report channel on YouTube and the Dallas Cowboys Report channel on YouTube because they kind of switching teams. So the Raiders, they go out and they sign Jason Witten for a one-year deal worth up to $4.75 million. And I'll be honest, this one doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever for the Raiders. I think they've been doing a lot of moves. We will get into the Malik Collins deal here in just a little bit once we get some updates there. But for the Raiders, you already have Darren Waller. You have a young, good tight end in Foster Moreau. The only reason why, that this maybe makes sense for the Raiders is if Foster Moreau's knee injury, which he ended the season on the IR, is a lot worse than what it is.
Okay, that's reasonable.
That's the only way that this makes any sense.
I would like to personally thank John Gruden for taking one for the team and keeping Jason Witten out of the broadcast booth. I really appreciate that, John.
Now, I understand that Gruden likes veterans, and
He's
I know that
grinder,
Derek
baby.
Carr loves tight ends. But, I mean, let's be real here. Jason Witten has lost not just a step, not just 2 steps. Jason Witten has lost multiple steps here, and you can go and throw up the numbers here on screen. I get it. He had over 63 catches in, 2 straight? I guess I can't say 2 straight years because he didn't even play in 2018 because he was retired. But for me, you're going to, I guess, just hopefully get a blocker. I mean, the only way that I'm putting Witten on the field at this point is if I know I'm going to run the football because I'm throwing the ball to Waller and I'm throwing it to Foster Moreau.
Every target that you give Jason Witten over Foster Moreau is a mistake. Just like kind of how it was, every target that the Cowboys gave Jason Witten over Blake Jarwin was a mistake. This Witten move, if you're looking for a blocking tight end, that's fine. We'll mention it for the Cowboys briefly here as well. For reference here, guys, the Raiders could pay Jason Witten more than what the Cowboys are going to pay Blake Jarwin this year.
That's crazy.
It was very clear for the Cowboys side of it that they were never going to pay Jason Witten that much. They didn't want to bring him back and give him a key role. Maybe the Raiders promised him snaps. I'm not really sure. There's no way they play him over Darren Waller. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The minute the Cowboys re-signed Jarwin to a 3-year extension, which includes the RFA year, so it's a 4-year deal total, he was the future. And that's been made pretty clear for a while now. I didn't think Witten was going to be back. Now he goes to Las Vegas, and Blake Jarwin, clear as day, becomes tight end 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. And again, we kind of briefly broke down in the Cowboys Report the structure for Blake Jarwin's deal. It's really a 2-year deal and then an opt-out if the Cowboys want to pursue that route there. It really ends up being more of a 4-year, $24 million deal because they included that RFA deal. There's not that much guarantee. He is now tight end 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. That was already clear. It's even more clear that Jason Witten is now with the Raiders.
I don't even believe what I just saw. So what is your one-word reaction to the Raiders signing Jason Witten to 1 year, $4.75? Why? I don't get it. Like, I think all the moves that the Raiders have done so far, Corey Littleton makes a lot of sense to me. Nick Kwiatkowski makes a lot of sense. Mariota, bring him in as a backup. It's great. This is a head-scratcher to me, John. You're going to have to tell me why we're going out and getting Jason Witten. I get it. You guys might be friends. I get it that he's a Gruden grinder. Hey. The player coach, Rod Marinelli. Oh, wait. It's probably Rod Marinelli.
Hey, see ya. That's the route there. Like, this is fine for the Cowboys.
I don't get it.
I wasn't going to pay Jason Witten this amount of money. Like, I know some of you guys are freaking out in the comment section. Guys, Jason Witten's old. He is part of the old regime, part of the old era. Move on, get younger, get somebody who can stretch the field. If Jason Witten wanted to come back for like a 1-year, $2 million deal and be a backup, a number 2 tight end, okay. The Raiders seem to pay him more. That's fine in the end. Now, the Cowboys could still explore an option here beyond Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz. That is certainly a feature here. And I know this is kind of like Emmitt Smith going to the Arizona Cardinals. I get it. It's weird, and Witten is obviously an all-time great future first ballot Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. He's a legend. He's one of the greatest to ever wear the star for the Cowboys. But we got to be focused on 2020, 2021. So, yes, plain and simple, the Cowboys have made the correct move in letting Jason Witten walk.
I'm going to say no, they didn't, because if they would have signed him, he wouldn't be on the Raiders.
Yeah, so you don't like it.
I like Witten. I like Witten as a person, and he's going to help, I think, our young group of athletes grow into what they can be. But in terms of getting him on the field, I mean, go back and watch Cowboys games. When Witten was on the field, the offense just was not quite in sync.
Look, that blessed Week 1 offense for the Cowboys, which they featured Blake Jarwin a lot more. Having Jason, first off, the Cowboys tried to spin you a bill of lies that Jason Witten was going to play 25 snaps a game. Didn't happen. He played well over double that. Instead, now free Blake Jarwin instead. So type in your Y for yes, and yeah, go ahead and say free Jarwin in there too.
I'm going to say no because I wish he'd. Witten, I hope that you'd play well for us. There's no doubt about that. But my man,
I hate to see it.
No way I was giving him 1 year, $4.75 million. That wasn't the only move. Jason Witten, Malik Collins. He is also headed to the Raiders. The details, these are TBD. So once we get them, we'll throw them out to you. But for me, this screams Rod Marinelli, and I've said it multiple times on the Raiders
let
Report.
The coaching staff make the decision
I have said it multiple times on the Raiders Report. Malik Collins is a sleeper player that they're going to go out and get, and once you know it, they wanted to upgrade a defensive tackle, and now they gone out and get Malik Collins, who I think we can both agree is a good player.
Yeah, this should really not be a surprise if you've been paying close attention to really either of these teams. The Cowboys, the second they drafted Tristan Hill, as bad as he was for the Dallas Cowboys, they made it clear Collins wasn't going to be in the long-term plans. They thought he'd get more on the open market. Raiders still got plenty of money left. I'm curious what this deal comes in at. I could see it being a little bit more expensive than maybe you might expect given the way the defensive line market and other markets have panned out this year. But this also makes sense for the Raiders because there is that connection with Rod Marinelli. And having that familiarity, a player who they know that they want, and knows fits the style of defense they'll run on the defensive line, it's sensible.
And also, he's only 24. Jason Witten is in his mid-30s. Man, he might even be 44. I'm not quite sure. I was really, really hyped up about the Collins deal. So, for y'all, every single person right now, if you're a Raider fan out there, type J. Because oh my Lord, type M for Malik Collins. I'm losing my mind. We've had a lot of stuff going on here at Chat Sports. And remember, for those of you that are asking me, wait, is this Cowboys, Raiders? This is a simulcast on both our Raiders channel on YouTube and our Cowboys channel on YouTube. So, youtube.com/Raiders Report, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. I want a lot of M's. Better signing for the Raiders. It's an M for Malik Collins because, again, I don't quite understand why it is a J for Jason Witten. Don't understand it whatsoever.
It's definitely Malik Collins for the Raiders because, he's not going to be a great run stopper.
Yep.
That's not going to be his role. But as an interior rotational pass rusher, he's going to fit that role really well for you.
And I totally agree with that.
Now, can I get Mo Hurst or PJ Hall from you? Can we work on a trade on behalf of our two franchises?
I want PJ Hall. I want Mo Hurst. And we're going to have a pretty solid defensive line.
Tell you what, Mitch, I got a nice, shiny Tristan Hill for you.
Get out of here.
Second-round pick straight up for P.J. Hall. Who says no?
If you would have threw in Byron Jones, I might have been listening. But the Raiders, that one didn't quite work out. So what's the better signing for the Raiders? Type M for Malik or type J for Jason Witten. I type my M for Malik because, no offense to Witten, the Raiders, they already have, I think, some depth at the tight end position. So going out and getting him for 1 year, $4.7 million, I think it's a little bit more of just the leadership role. And some of y'all might disagree with me, but I think he's the number 3 tight end right now for this Las Vegas Raiders team because Darren Waller, clear-cut number 1. It's not even close. He had over 1,000 receiving yards last year. I'll actually say he's a top 5 tight end. Foster Moreau, okay? He was a rookie last year, drafted in the 4th round out of LSU. I will say this does make me a little bit more concerned on the Foster Moreau knee injury that he sustained, I believe, in Week 11. Carted off the field. I'll try to do a little bit more research on that. And then, I think Jason Witten, at whatever age he is at this point, he is tight end number 3 on our roster. So I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask not just the Raider fans watching, but I'm also going to ask the Cowboys fans that are watching as well. What do you grade it? A, B, C, D, or F? I don't want to give it an F because I don't think it is quite an F. But in terms of not understanding this move, it's a D for me. I know that we have some money. I know that we can go out and get players and get depth and have that player coach on the field.
Yeah,
but
that helps too.
It's a D. I don't get this one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to be positive, y'all. I don't get it.
From the Raiders side, from the Cowboys side, I don't mind having lost Jason Witten. You guys who have watched the show for a long time, you know where I've been at. I didn't want to bring back Jason Witten and give him a bunch of money and a bunch of snaps. Blake Jarwin is, at least for now, the future, and he's still pretty cheap, so that was a worthwhile extension. if you're giving snaps to Jason Witten instead of Blake Jarwin, that's a mistake. If you're giving snaps to Darren Waller instead of Jason Witten for the Raiders side of it, that's a mistake too. So it's cheap. It's a 1-year deal. It'll probably come in more like a 1-year, $2.5-3 million deal.
Still,
it's.
I don't get
have
it.
Darren Waller and Foster Moreau. I would have liked that better for Vegas.
Would have liked it a lot more, and I'm seeing a lot of people are saying C's, some D's in there. So the Raiders, they go out, they get Jason Witten, which means for the Cowboys, it does free up Blake Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin officially has been freed, at least for the time being, if the Cowboys don't get super weird with it. A 4-year, $24.25-ish million extension. The way this deal is broken down, and I think this is important to make note of the Cowboys, and it's why I like this extension. It was initially reported as a 3-year deal. It's really going to come in more in terms of the cap hit. It's worth up to $24.25, $422. That's your total. So cap hit in year 1 is $3.25. That's less than what the Raiders just gave Jason Witten. Keep that in mind. 2021, it's $5.25. And then it increases $1 million per year after that. You can cut Blake Jarwin if you have to for whatever reason in 2022. Save over $4 million with $2 million in dead money. That's all that you've risked here with Blake Jarwin. You've locked yourself into him for really 2 years at a very affordable cap hit. So I much prefer this route for the Dallas Cowboys. To move on from Jason Witten, I know he is a legend. I know that he is. He is an all-time great. He is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. This feels like Emmitt Smith going to the Cardinals. That's what it's like. But it's time to go younger. Now, hopefully Blake Jarwin isn't Troy Hambrick, but I think he's still going to be a decent option.
One of my viewers, Enrique, says, I called this Witten to the Raiders. Really? You called this? Maybe you could help predict this. So who's going to have more wins in 2020? Type R for the Raiders or type C for the Cowboys? I think right now we're going to get a lot more R's than we're going to get C's.
Doubt my fan base is strong because also the Cowboys are better. So do me a favor.
See, I don't know about that. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm seeing a lot more Raiders live than I am Cowboys
you're
live.
Right. You guys have disappointed me.
I mean, we're almost. Oh, we are double.
Oh, shit, double. Okay.
We're double right now.
All right, you guys got to do double the work on the Cowboys report.
R. All right, so more votes a minute. So right now, we're getting the votes in. We got 191 votes a minute for the Raiders and only 63.5 for the Cowboys. Come on, nation.
Hey, I need
Come on,
you guys
Come on, nation.
to
Keep typing
spam
R.
C here.
R.
That's what I need from you.
R.
Please spam C.
The Raiders are going to have more wins in 2020. Type R.
Remember, we're simulcasting right
Correct.
now on the Cowboys report and on the Raiders report.
Let's
so
go.
The Cowboys report, yeah, you're only going to see the C's. The Raiders report, you're only going to see the R's. So I need you guys on the Cowboys report, since we got half the audience right now.
Let's get it. Oh, we're whooping.
Double your efforts.
We're whooping. Let's go.
So please,
The
just
nation.
spam
We know
C.
the nation's louder than the Cowboys. Come on. Let's be real here. I mean, yeah. Have you been to a Raiders tailgate? No. It is unlike anything you have ever experienced.
So spam C, guys. I need your help here. I need you guys to do double the work.
Look at this.
Hey,
Tripled.
I got 59.5 on here. I'm calling collusion on the producers here, and there's a rigged election.
I got 180.
I demand a recount.
I got 184.
I demand a recount. I got 249. You pull right back down there. Look at that.
I mean, hang on a
I'm
sec.
winning.
I don't think so.
You keep the C's coming. I got 249 right here. Okay, I got damn it.
Let's go.
Hold on, let me take a photo here. Hold on.
More wins.
Document it.
Yep. Oh, my computer's not updating. Get off me.
Tough break. It's permanent. I got the photo evidence.
Oh, I know why. It's because I'm not in as the Raiders. I'm on my personal YouTube channel.
Oh, you hate to see it, Mitch.
Oh, man.
You hate to see it.
All right, we're about to get another update.
I'm just going to claim victory here.
No.
513. Oh, look at that. Oh, it was for very briefly it said 430.
815 comments per minute. That's right, nation. Show out. We got over 1,400 people watching. And the reason why y'all are wondering what's happening here, we are doing a simulcast on our Raiders Report channel and our Cowboys Report channel because Malik Collins and Jason Witten, they are headed to the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, now I'm going to ask another favor. If you see the bots, type B because I'm getting the word in my ear that there are some bots that are starting to come out here just a little bit. So Jason Witten, he's balding a little bit, so maybe he should go buy one of these hats. Chatsports.com/NFL hat. If you have a favorite team, by the Raiders or the Cowboys. If you're watching, go get a hat to rep your team. Up to 45% off. I don't recommend getting that one. I recommend getting the first one that we showed. That's at chatsports.com/NFL hat.
It's a fantastic deal. They've got more than just Cowboys Raiders. If you're a non-Cowboys Raiders fan watching,
We've seen crazier
more
things.
More power to you. We got you covered for your favorite team as well. But yes, there are Cowboys and Raiders hats available. Check the description. Check the comments of these videos, by the way. We'll put that link in there for you. chatsports.com/NFL hat. As a reminder, we are simulcasting right now, live on Cowboys, live on our Raiders report. I saw 945, by the way, on Cowboys just now, messages a minute. So, you're well over 1,000. Okay. Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Sorry, Tom.
Hey, I'm proud of you guys. Great effort. They had double the audience, and we were not double behind. You guys carried your weight. We won the percentage of versus audience.
How much does that mean? Nothing. Raider Nation,
look,
we got the W.
I'm claiming W.
We got the W.
Yeah,
we got the W.
Mitch.
So the Raiders, they go out also, not just Jason Witten. We get Malik Collins. This is a move that I really liked. I've been talking about Collins now for about 2.5 weeks, and I first put him on the show. I said he is a sleeper candidate for the Raiders to bring in because why? New defensive line coach, Rod Marinelli. So we go out. We get the 24-year-old. We're going to be able to put him now at defensive tackle. And I think what you're going to see is a fresher defensive line, which is something that we're going to really, really need. So I like Mo Hurst a lot. Obviously, he's entering year 3. P.J. Hall also entering year 3. You went out. You still retained Jonathan Hankins. And now you got Collins. We went from having a very, we'll say, questionable defensive line just 2 years ago, only 13 sacks in 2018, to now building a strong young defensive line. The Raiders are doing the right things. Let's get that straight. So for everyone that typed R for the Raiders having more wins in 2020, yeah, that one's for Chucky.
Can I just ask about Mo Hurst and P.J. Hall? Because you can play Cleveland Ferrell around the defensive line. Can I get one of Mo Hurst or P.J. Hall from you?
No, I'm gonna hang on to Mo Hurst.
Tristan
and P.J.
Hall for P.J. Hall, or Tristan Hill for P.J. Hall. Straight up, who says no? No, you sure?
I'm gonna hang on to my defensive line.
Yes.
I know what Rod Marinelli wants, and I know he wants
Tristan Hill.
And I know he wants to hang on to that defensive line. I mean, I think one of the reasons why, you could see potentially if Benson Mayowa be let go, they're going to put a lot of more effort on Crosby and Cleveland Ferrell, and then they're really going to just try to penetrate up the middle. Something we have in common.
Yeah, that's Jesus, Mitch. But look, I think Collins, as we get back to actual football talk, Collins is going to be a fit for what the Raiders are going to want to do with this new defense. It's not that different than Paul Gunther and Rod Marinelli. It makes sense. Malik Collins going to the Raiders with Rod Marinelli there was an obvious connection for all parties involved. I am curious to see what the numbers end up looking like, as the Cowboys have once again lost another free agent and technically a starter as well, although they plan to move on from Malik Collins.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really totally surprise me there because, they invest their money in other places, but I think this is how much do you think Malik Collins is going to go for? Because for me, I was hoping he's going to be a little bit more of a cheaper option at the defensive tackle position.
What were you thinking?
Oh boy, 5, 6.
Okay, I thought 6 or 7.
Okay,
so I think we're kind of in
the same ballpark.
Yeah, in the same ballpark there.
I will say Malik Collins, that's a B+ for me. Jason Witten, D+. So now, Tom,
we put this in the chat, by the way.
Okay,
so it's available. First one to get a $50 super chat on that channel gets to slap the other.
All right, so if I get a $50 super chat on the Raiders channel, so go ahead and do it. I get to slap Tom.
No, you got that backwards. If I get a $50 super chat, I slap you. And if you get a $50 super chat, you get slapped by me.
Wait a minute. I feel like I got the short end of the stick here.
I don't think you did.
I don't know. $50 super chat, and I'm going to slap Tom for coming up with that idea. All right, Tom, walk us through now what the Cowboys' offensive line looks like without Malik Collins.
Not great right now. You have DeMarcus Lawrence under contract. Tristan Hill is now your best 3 technique. Oh, I got one! Oh! Patrick Mitchell, let's go!
It's not 50.
That's $49.99.
It's not 50.
Count it. That counts. That's how they do it.
It's not
count
50.
It. Count it. Full screen that. Patrick Mitchell's the GOAT.
Oh,
the GOAT.
Patrick Mitchell.
Look at this. We'll get back to the Cowboys D-line in a second. This is important stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get your full screen.
Are you kidding me, guys?
This counts, baby.
I got slapped 3 times.
All right, wait. But before we go to this,
I got slapped 3 times.
Scale of 1 to 10, how hard should I slap Mitch?
Oh. I got slapped 3 times yesterday on NFL Daily, and now I'm getting slapped on my own show.
So scale of 1 to 10.
How about this? The only way that we
let me know.
I can also slap Tom if we get a $50 super chat.
Yeah.
Come on.
How hard? So look at him flinching already.
Oh God.
How many slaps do I get if he continues to flinch?
Oh.
All right, just come here. Come here.
Oh wait, I got one. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Wait a second. All right.
Move your mic. I don't want to hit the mic. I don't want to use my left hand because that's very strong.
Oh. Who did it? Who helped me out here? Adam, where are you at? Adam, hit me up on Instagram. I'm going to follow you back. If anybody sends in a $50 super chat, you're getting a follow back on IG.
We're here for the entertainment.
Where's Adam?
Because we need this right now.
All right, where's Adam? Adam, my man. All right. Full screen. Wait, that doesn't count. This actually 50. I got you, Mitch. Adam, hit me up Instagram. It's at MitchellRens365. You're getting a follow back.
There you go. Don't lick your hand, dude. Come on.
You can't say that. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, you kind of missed.
You want it again?
Yeah. There we go. That second one was much better.
Oh I didn't know how hard I was allowed to hit him.
Oh, another one. Do it again.
Wait, for me?
Not for me.
Oh. Are you kidding me?
Y for yes, N for no. Should I use my ring hand?
Oh, man. This turns into slaps giving. How does this even happen? All right. Yeah, go follow Tom on Twitter.
Hey, if you guys screenshot me slapping him, I will retweet you. So follow me on Twitter. And Wesley and Mitchell, it was Mitchell, right? That was the other super chat? Let me double check. Patrick Mitchell. DM me on Twitter. I'll make sure I follow you guys back for this as a result. Look, I'm just going to take that right there so it's out of the way. How hard should I go? There you go. I slapped him 5 times this week. I went a little bit lighter.
People are like, what is happening here?
People who don't watch our shows are going to be like, what is going on? I'm here for Jason Witten news.
Sometimes they say laughter's the best medicine, or maybe
not
just
nerds slapping each other.
Maybe just getting slapped in the face. Oh, man. Well, you might be thinking that you're here for slapsgiving. No. You're here because Jason Witten and Malik Collins, they have signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll get back to it on a 1-year deal worth up to $4.75 million. I was pretty surprised by this deal, to be honest with you, because, again, I think he's the 3rd tight end on this Raiders roster. And if you went back and you watched Witten, I don't care what his numbers say, he has gotten very, very slow. And normally it was like Witten was slow and got open. I actually think it's a little bit more a tip of the cap to the Cowboys offense and to Dak Prescott because of the fact that's how he was getting targeted. He was getting the football.
Jason Witten's yards after catch this year was almost identical to how tall he was. So it was a lot of times Witten fell over and that was the yards that he made.
I mean, for me, though, I saw some people saying, oh, maybe it's a red zone threat. I mean, if Foster Moreau was fully healthy, he had 5 touchdowns last year. Like, he led all the Raiders tight ends in terms of touchdowns. So that, I don't really know. The only way that this makes sense, so I'm going to be looking around for Foster. I'm going to be trying to figure it out. For me, is if Foster Moreau is not fully healthy, if they are very worried about that knee injury that put him on the IR where he left in Week 11. That's the only way.
Obviously, I've watched a bunch of your shows before, Mitch, because we're here on Chat Sports together. Witten fits the Gruden grinder mold. He's a veteran, but he works hard. He's going to be a good leader.
But he doesn't fit what they're trying to do now. And what they're trying to do now is go young and build for the future. If Jason Witten is our future, we're in trouble. Breaking news.
You got a year.
I mean, breaking news. Like, to me, what this is going to end up being a lot like, and it wouldn't surprise me, if Witten comes in, they realize, oh, wait a minute. I don't think that we should have done this. And I'm kind of worried it's a lot like the Jordy Nelson situation where Nelson got paid $3.1 million, and then he came to camp, and they're like, oh, crap. He's old. This isn't going to work. That's what I'm worried, that we just paid Jason Witten $2 whatever million to come in during training camp and not have it work out. Made no sense because Waller is the clear-cut #1 tight end. He's the best tight end on the Raiders. He'd be the best tight end on the Cowboys. He's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. And, yeah, the touchdowns are low.
So I'm just going to let you take the top 5 tight end because I already slapped you twice today and 3 times yesterday.
He's a top 5 tight end in the NFL. Name. Fine. Tell me 5 other tight ends that you'd rather have over Darren Waller. Go.
I really kind of wanted to throw out Blake Jarwin just to troll you, but I'm not going to go that
I mean,
route.
I'll give you Travis Kelce.
Zach Ertz.
Okay.
George Kittle.
Okay.
I would strongly consider Austin Hooper, quite frankly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dylan just threw out O.J. Howard. I'm taking
Darren Waller.
I don't think that's the answer.
I don't think you can. I think he's a top 5 tight end, and I don't think that's unfair to say.
I guess
he can block. He is a good blocker. He is an athletic freak.
Is he a good blocker?
He is a good blocker.
But I'll follow this up by I don't care. I don't care about blocking. I honestly
You should.
Don't. How about Mark Andrews?
So they're going to bring in, oh boy, the Raiders also, nope, never mind. I can't read.
Okay, great job, buddy. Great job. Love to see it.
We got a lot
Love
of stuff going on here.
I like Darren Waller. He's been great. I'll give you a top 10 tight end. I probably wouldn't take Tyler Higbee over him.
Nope.
Hunter Henry.
Is Darren Waller a top 5 tight end in the NFL? Raider Nation, come on. Why for yes? Why for yes? Why for yes? I mean, it's 1 year. Okay,
He's really
I get
good.
it. He's a top 5 tight end. I just want you to say it. That's all I want.
No, because I'm taking Kelce. I'm taking Ertz.
Okay.
I'm taking who else am I forgetting? We literally just mentioned. I'm an idiot right now. Kittle.
Okay.
I'm
Hooper.
taking Mark Andrews, and
You're taking Mark Andrews over Darren Waller.
I'm gonna take Mark Andrews.
Wow.
Swap out the teams. I would rather have Mark Andrews.
No.
Sorry, buddy.
He's crazy. Why for yes? If you follow Tom, go yell at him on Twitter at what's going down. I mean, for me though, you really got to think about everything that Darren Waller has been through. I mean, imagine though if you put Darren Waller on an offense, let's say is a little bit more explosive. I think he's top. I don't know.
But his raw production does go down. His efficiency probably goes up, but I mean Waller was clearly the best option last year.
Of course.
But that's not saying that much. Was AB left? By the way, FAB.
FAB. There you go. But I mean,
I do like Waller though. That's been fantastic.
But see, I don't want to just harp on the numbers. I mean, his numbers are good, but I do think that he
great, frankly.
Excuse me. I do think though he is a good blocker, and I think he is a better blocker than I'll take his blocking over Zach Ertz any day.
Again, like I mentioned earlier, I don't care about blocking.
You should. You should at least care about it a little bit. When you're a team like the Raiders and you're going to run the football, just like the Cowboys, you're a run-first team.
Sling it.
You need to have a tight end that can at least block. You have to.
At their size, they can just get in the way and it'll be fine. I would rather have a great receiving tight end who's not a good blocker than a average receiving tight end who's a great blocker. Give me the pass catcher every time.
Yeah, especially in today's NFL, but and
I still think Waller, Ertz are in the exact same discussion. They're great passers. That's what's valuable for them.
Okay.
That's why I like them. I don't care about their blocking. I want them on my team because I can get them involved in the seam and in checkdowns and all types of options there. And Waller is really good. We're arguing over top 10 versus top 5. That's what we're arguing over.
I mean, it's top 5. Let's be real. Top 5. Okay. So I'll let you take this one, Tom, since it's your channel there on the bottom.
Well, we are simulcasting right now on the Cowboys Report and on the Las Vegas Raiders Report as well. So if you love those two teams, of course you're watching right now on the Cowboys Report, you're watching right now on the Raiders Report, and you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. We've got a lot of people on the Cowboys channel right now that I'm sure are new. A ton of people on the Raiders channel right now that I'm sure are new. And we do these types of things all the time, breaking in with breaking news, updating you guys on the latest news and rumors around your favorite team. So hit that big red button and subscribe today to the Cowboys Report and the Raiders Report if you're a Raiders fan or a Cowboys fan.
If you're a Cowboys fan and you want to convert, I got you. Come bleed silver and black. Come on over, youtube.com/Raiders Report. We have a lot of fun over there. Raiders, they're making moves, and yeah, they're going to have more wins in 2020. If you disagree with me, you can find me below. I'm ready.
People are, I didn't even flinch.
I know.
People are
sending straight up Kobe.
People are sending me the slap screenshots. This one was the best one. I just retweeted it.
Oh my goodness.
Go check out my Twitter at what.
That is amazing. I got to get me that.
It's a perfect screenshot of Mitch kind of again leaning into it because I don't know why you keep doing that.
Well, because I'm getting ready and I turn to talk to you and then
I'm really good at the surprise slap attack.
Dude, the one he gave me yesterday, that one was
I said we got a second one for free and I told him we'd do it later and like 5 seconds later I got him.
Whack. Okay. You take this. I'm going to find your tweet and retweet it.
All right, so which channel can get more likes on the video? We'll get a tracker going for you guys so you're aware of which one has the most as well. So which channel can get the most likes on this video? Let me know. What's the live number right now at for Vegas channel? Raiders channel? Ooh, so Raiders have about double right now.
Okay.
Makes some sense. They're the ones signing guys. Cowboys lost the players. So I need you Cowboys Report fans to double your efforts. Don't rely on others to carry you. You got to be the MVP.
Come on. Raider Nation, like the video. Let's go.
That's
More likes. Show that the Raiders have better fans than Cowboys fans.
Reverse that order.
So
let's
like it. Like the video right now. Come on. What do I got to do for some likes?
Well, as a super chat, as we wait for some like numbers to roll in here, Alex says we need chat sports all year round, especially now. Damn right, Alex, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep you covered throughout the season on everything for the NFL, the NBA once that comes back. We will keep you covered here on Chat Sports. So, Alex, thank you very much. We appreciate that. If you're not already, please subscribe to our Cowboys Report, our YouTube report, and heck, you can go check out our main Chat Sports channel. Be another video coming up on that in a little bit later on in the day.
Getting a call from potential spam. I think it's Jason Witten. I think he's trying to call into the show. That's what I'm saying. Jason, if that's you, call back on your actual number. It's spam. I don't know. It's just spam. I've never been a real big fan of spam, to be honest with you.
And no one should be, frankly.
I totally agree. All right, so we got more likes. We're doing a competition.
I need you guys to up those numbers.
I want you to like this video.
These are rookie numbers, Cowboys
like the
fans.
video. If we can get to 1,000 likes, if we can double the amount of likes that Tom, no, I want 1,000. Let's get to 1,000 likes. I already chugged a beer on my last show. Let's do it again today. Do it again.
Oh, these numbers are not great.
Come on, more likes.
This is not great, guys. Come on.
Like the video.
You can do it.
Like the video.
Help me out.
Let's show that the Raider Nation is louder and better than Cowboys fans. Let's go.
Hey, I got 2 super chats. You got 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
A break from tradition right there.
See, Raider fans, though, they're louder, and they're going to prove it here. How many likes we got? There. Oh, there we go.
Look, we got 2 great fan bases.
There we go.
I need you Cowboys fans to help me out, though. You're going up against a strong crop here.
That's a fact.
Raiders fans, because they are something else.
They're unlike anything I've ever seen. They're unlike anything I've ever seen.
In a good way. That's a great point from producer Brett. The Raiders are signing people. The Cowboys aren't.
Raiders are making moves.
You guys got to carry some weight here.
The Raiders are making moves.
Tell your friends to like it as well. Raiders are being super active.
That's good.
What's that
needed
like?
to be. It's a good feeling, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I think it's one of those things where we needed to be able to make these moves. If you really want to sell going to a new stadium, if you really want to be able to sell these new things that the Raiders are trying to have, you need to make some splash plays.
Yeah.
That's a fact. For the Cowboys, though, I mean, it's Dak Prescott, it's Amari Cooper. That's a lot of money tied up. So for the Raiders, we might have more power in making signings in terms of numbers of the amount, but you guys made 2 bigger splashes. I mean, signing Amari and Dak is probably bigger than any move the Raiders have made and will make this entire free agency.
Especially after they missed out on Byron Jones.
Yeah, that one hurts a little bit.
Bring back AB?
No.
I just want Raiders fans to type in FAB.
FAB.
I always love it when you guys do that. It's awesome.
I mean, that is one thing that I'm proud of. We get FABs
It's the best.
plenty here.
It's the best.
This is for you or me?
Oh, this is for me. This is Brett Stevens Super Chat on the Cowboys Report channel. What are some moves in free agency the Cowboys will make? Brett, why don't you stay tuned? I know the Cowboys just lost Robert Quinn. Later on tonight, we will put up a Robert Quinn replacement video for you guys. That is the current plan. You can check out some defensive ends and also check out the channel. We've mentioned some defensive line targets. Some of them are already off the market, but there are still several available who I think fit for the Dallas Cowboys.
Looks like we got another.
This one was on the Raiders channel.
Super chat rolling in. All right, what up, Robert? Get a pick. You got to love free agency. You know who I am, friend on Facebook. I told you about the girl that makes the really cool jewelry for the Raiders. Okay, I got you. Appreciate the super chat. I do love free agency. And if you guys love free agency as well, go hit that subscribe button below. And I noticed, Tom, that only 53% of the people that watch my Raiders shows are subscribed.
Yeah,
this is the time.
On the Cowboys Report.
This is the time to hit that sub button. This is the time of the year to turn on the notifications. As you can see, it's been a busy past few days, and I promise you, Tom and I, the entire Chat Sports team, we're going to be putting videos together for everyone, not just for Cowboys, not just for Raiders, also for all NFL content. So go ahead, subscribe, click that big red button below. So, Tom, I'm seeing a lot of different things here in our Slack communication channel about competitions. So what I will need the nation to do is I need you to start liking, and my face might be on the line, or we might be doing some embarrassing things here pretty shortly. If I ask you to do something to beat Tom, all I want, help us out, okay? Help us out. So, all right, we got 1,225 people watching right now on the Raiders Report. So, the way we're doing this, we're taking questions.
I want to mention this here in just a second, but we'll do some questions as well. Some breaking Cowboys news. Darian Thompson's back. That's what you guys were waiting for, right? Depth special teams. That's what this is for the Cowboys, bringing back Darian Thompson. It'll be a cheap deal. It's not going to be starter money. I guess they like the role he played on special teams. It is a 2-year, $2.8 million deal.
Oh, the bots are back.
That's nothing. $2.28 million. That's a cheap deal. That's not a whole lot right there. So Thompson returns to the Dallas Cowboys. Borderline vet minimum deal. There you go. That's just, they got a cheap deal done. They got it done quickly. They brought it back, and they at least now have 3 safeties under contract for this upcoming season.
Darian Thompson. Oh,
yeah.
I was just talking about the Chiefs with Harrison before we were doing
this.
this.
How to read?
Yeah, well, you know I don't know how to read. So I'll tell you what, though, Darian Thompson, he's got a receding hairline. He looks like he needs to go to get some hats. Chatsports.com/NFL hats. Hats up to 45% off. Darian, if you're watching the show, maybe you'd rather have a Raider hat. I don't know. If you're out there watching both on the Raiders and the Cowboys show, we have hats for both teams. And, again, it is up to 45% off. So Tom and I, we look for the best deals across the internet, and for this, we found a Cowboys and a Raiders hat. If you go to chatsports.com/NFL hat, you can rep your favorite team. I know for me, though, Tom, I'm not the biggest hat wearer,
okay,
but I do like that one. Not the one on screen, but the Raiders one. That's the one I would definitely get.
Oh, I think the Cowboys one's a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, this one's...
They're both great hats. They're equal pros and cons, but I'm always going to
wear the Cowboys one,
I'm always going
to
pick the Cowboys.
Couldn't wear it. If you'd rather wear the Raiders hat type R, I think we can all agree. It looks better.
Maybe type some C's in performance. Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, my gosh. These bots, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. It's the nature of it all. It just is what it is. So
that's the world we live in right now. Yes. If you see a bot, type B. We'll get rid of it. It's the quickest way to do it. That tells YouTube, wait a minute, we got some thirsty sex bots named Senorita because she wants some sexy click here. I don't even know what they're saying. Some of them are smarter. Some of them are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
it's very strange.
So we do have a $2 super chat. I appreciate that just came in, and unfortunately, the bots, they pushed it up. That's from Vet Life. Shout out to Vet Life. Appreciate you. Vet, I do have a favor to ask. Get a picture. You can see me. I'd like to be able to see you. So anytime that you see any of these thirsty bots, you can go ahead and type B to get rid of them. So today, the Raiders, they went out and they made a move for Jason Witten.
A surprising one.
$4.75 million. I'll be honest, I don't get it. Don't really get it.
Veteran leader. That's what this is.
But you're not paying a veteran leader up to $4.75 million when you have Darren Waller, when you've already invested in Foster Moreau. The only way it makes sense is if Foster Moreau is not 100% healthy.
I would
say I don't know.
Be a true 4.75. Maybe it'll be more like a $2 million base salary type deal. Does that make you feel better if that's
Of course it makes me feel better, but it doesn't explain to me why we want Jason Witten on the field, period.
Okay.
Because if you put him on the field, to me, he's just a blocker. I don't think he's a red zone threat anymore at this point in his career. I don't want him catching footballs because every single target that he takes away from Darren Waller, I'm not going to be happy about it. Every target he takes away from Foster Moreau, whether it's in the red zone or in the middle of the field, not going to be happy about it. So this is the first move where I say a little bit of a head scratcher here for me. So I want you guys to rate the Raiders free agency so far on a scale of 1 to 10. Before this, I would have said 9 because you went out, you got Corey Littleton, you got Nick Kwiatkowski, and Marcus Mariota. Now I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I'm going to drop it down to an 8 because I don't think it's that big of a deal. If it was crazy amount of money, we'd be somewhere else.
Look, I really like the pickup of Corey Littleton.
Yep.
The other linebacker pickup was fine. I think it was as good a value as Littleton was. I thought that was the best inside linebacker in free agency. They got him for a couple million more than Blake Martinez went for. The Littleton pickup, I thought was a really smart move by the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
It filled a major need, and now you don't have to go linebacker at 19. Maybe now you aren't pining after Isaiah Simmons in the same way that maybe you were a little bit ago, though that's still an option as well if he does happen to fall. So I love the pickup of Littleton. Overall, this has been a good free agency for the Raiders. Not as splashy as last year's, but still good.
No, I agree. And I see a super chat from Vet Life that says, breaking news, we signed linebacker Corey Littleton. Vet Life, all I'm going to say is, yes, it is news that the Raiders went out and got Littleton. But if you'd be subscribed to the channel, if you have your notifications turned on, you'd know that I put that video out maybe about, 4 hours ago at this point. But we do have a little bit of an update. It's $22 million guaranteed. I know I said it a few times when I was live, but I don't think I had the graphic made for it. So 3 years, $36 million, 22 of which guaranteed. Number one free agent linebacker on the market. Really, really happy about that move by the Raiders.
That feels such a massive need for them. Like linebacker, along with maybe receiver, I thought were the two biggest needs for Vegas. Getting Littleton in, that takes care of it. And with the other linebacker from the Bears, Kwiatkowski, that also helps fill your needs.
It's a great 1-2 punch because what are you going to get? You're going to get Corey Littleton, who's probably the best coverage linebacker, one of the best coverage linebackers in the entire NFL, who can cover tight ends down the seam, who can cover the running back underneath, who can cover wide receivers. And now you complement that with a Kwiatkowski, who's a solid run defender, who can also get after the quarterback. So we're going to play to our players' strengths. That's what I like a lot. But Littleton, to me, I actually think he's going to take a little bit of stress off of LaMarcus Joyner, who did really struggle in that nickel last season. So now we can drop him back into coverage. Really, really interested to see what this Raiders defense looks like. Ooh, looks like I got a
big old super chat.
Got a big old
we'll
super
get to
chat.
that one here in a minute.
Appreciate that,
But
Heath.
no, I think Nicholas Morrow can be your number 3. That's fine. I think you have two better ones at that spot now with your signings. Nick had a breakout year for the Bears. I like these moves a lot. I don't love the Witten one. I think the Malik Collins one will end up being fine for you as well. I think the Raiders are making some smart signings as a whole.
Let's go to our super chat here from my man Keith. Keith, how's it out there in San Diego? Stay safe. Tell the family I say what's up. Why on earth did we sign Jason Witten for? Honestly, man, I have no idea why the Raiders got Witten. I think it's got to be depth. I think it could be having a player coach on the field and maybe on the sidelines. He could be maybe trying to mold Foster Moreau and what you want to do with his career. The other option there for me is maybe, and just maybe, Foster Moreau is not 100% healthy coming off that knee injury.
Maybe they want to run more 2 tight end sets this year. Maybe that's an option. I'm just trying to throw out some possibilities here for you, all right?
But see, if you want to run 2 tight end options, it's Waller and it's Moreau. Okay. It's not.
I think Witten could still be a solid tight end 2 for you. I do. And look, you've got Waller's almost a big slot at this point, which is fine. Again, I wouldn't have paid Witten this much. I feel fine that Randy's or that Witten is out of the Cowboys. It's a loss of a legend, an icon, and end of an era. Frankly, I guess end of the era, part 2, because they already tried this once. I didn't have interest in paying Witten this much money.
So what would you grade the move? A, B, C, D, or F? Get your votes in here. I know I see a lot of Bs. I think it's just because of the bots. Seriously, what would you grade this move? I'm going to give it a D. I just don't think it makes sense. Now, if it's $2 million, I'll give it a C because I do think he's at least going to be that Gruden grinder. He's going to help some younger players do the right things, right? If I'm going to spin it now, and I'm kind of thinking of it in my head, you bring in Jason Witten, who's had a very, very long and successful NFL career. The Raiders right now are trying to build a bit of a culture. What's a player that I want to help show players how to build the right culture, what to do the right things so you have a long NFL career? I mean, Jason Witten is the poster boy of that.
I think that's exactly right. I think that Witten, has so much great talent in the past, and he knows how to do things the right way. Garrett called these guys the right kind of guys. That absolutely fits Witten to a T.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. So we got some C's, some B's. I do see some F's in here as well. So Jason Witten, $4.75 million, and coming off a interesting 2019. Why don't you talk me through his stats compared to Blake Jarwin?
But the issue here was in the usage, and you can see the difference in touchdowns and an average relative to the snaps per game. Blake Jarwin was not nearly as involved in terms of the usage. The Cowboys said, hey, we're going to give Jason Witten 25 snaps. That was a lie. They gave him double that. They should have flipped the Witten-Jarwin production in terms of how many snaps they ended up getting. Clearly, that's not the route that they ended up going. And that's, I think, a little bit disappointing for the Cowboys. They've made Jarwin their tight end 1 this year. Again, I made this point earlier. I'll make it again. For the Raiders side of it, you're giving snaps to Witten over Darren Waller. That's a huge mistake. That is not something that you can end up doing. It's a bad idea. And I don't think, though, in the end, that they will take that path.
So I'll let you handle this one because you're the host of the Cowboys Report.
Yeah. Spam free Jarwin for me in the comments section. Go ahead and spam it here for me. And you Cowboys fans know what the deal is. We've mentioned this before on the show.
You're a Raider fan, type boo.
You're fine. How about free Waller? How about that? Or keep Waller free for your guys' end. But it is time to free Jarwin. That is the reality for the Cowboys. He needs to be involved. He needs to be your tight end 1. It might not work out. You haven't committed to him really too much beyond this year and next year. Then you can easily get out of that contract if you need to. Make him your tight end 1. Give him a chance not to be a run blocker, but to have him be the guy who can take care of you in terms of seam stretching as a dynamic tight end option. We'll see if that actually works out, but we saw flashes of that last year. I think that can be the path here that the Cowboys choose to end up going.
So Jason Witten wasn't the only move that the Raiders did make, actually. And the second move that they made, which was literally like 2-3 minutes right after the Jason Witten move, was this one. For Malik Collins, he's going to join the Raiders team. Now, we still don't have the official details on the contract, but he's a young 24-year-old player who I think is going to be able to really, really help that defensive tackle, defensive line, and really just kind of bolster that defense. And this is a pure indication that Rod Marinelli, he went out, I think, really talked to Gruden about getting Witten, but especially Malik Collins. And I was pounding the table that Malik Collins has a good chance of being the Raider on the Raiders team. He's going to be a target. And I thought he was a little bit underappreciated in terms of free agency. So really, really like this move. So give me a one-word reaction to the Raiders signing. This is defensive tackle Malik Collins. So we'll get that updated for you. So it's defensive tackle.
There it is.
Malik Collins. So one-word reaction.
I'm going to lean towards solid right now in terms of where they currently sit. I don't know what the exact details are, but I think solid is a good way to describe that. That's what he's going to be for the Raiders. He's not going to be an impact 10-sack-a-year guy. Maybe we thought that was in the case after a great first season. Things never quite came in the same way, but I think he'll be a solid player for the Las Vegas Raiders and added pressure, which they need on the interior because they were much better against quarterbacks and getting sacks last year.
Yep.
Still got a long way to go.
No, totally agree with you, Tom. So Malik Collins, 19 tackles.
Yeah, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss here, 0 forced fumbles. He's going to be not great against the run. That's not where he's going to have the most success. But he will be a pass rusher. He will be an impact player, at least in terms of generating pressure to help free up a Cleveland Ferrell, to help free up a Mo Hurst on passing downs, to help free up Mad Max Crosby. That will help those edge rushers, and getting Collins in, at minimum as a key rotation guy, will help out the Raiders. I think that's why it's a solid pickup for them in the end.
Totally agree, and I think when you're looking at the defensive line, when you're looking at winning in the trenches, I think in just about any division, but especially the Raiders division in the AFC West, I mean, you're going to be worried about Patrick Mahomes. And if you want to have a chance to beat the Chiefs, you got to have a solid defensive line, and you have to be able to get after the quarterback. And one of the things that I like, Collins, that he can do, I understand that he plays defensive tackle, but he actually has a very, very good ability to get after the quarterback at that position. He's a solid run defender. And for me, I'm excited to see what this defensive line is going to be able to do. I want to see, Crosby step up in year 2. Cleveland needs to step up in year 2. Hankins, I think, needs to continue to do what he's doing. But P.J. Hall, Mo Hurst, this defensive line went from being a big weakness 2 years ago to starting to become a little bit more of a strength.
It's going in the right direction. You can still add somebody early on in the draft if that's a route that you want to end up doing.
No, totally agree. So how about this? Okay, which team will have more sacks next season? Type 1 for the Cowboys or type 2 for the Raiders. So in context, the Raiders, they had 32 sacks last year, only 13 in 2018.
So massive growth.
Massive growth.
Yeah.
And if you continue that growth, we're obviously going to have 50 sacks this year.
So last year, the Cowboys had 39. So for reference as to where that sits in the NFL, Cowboys right at 16.
Okay.
Exactly league average.
Raiders were 23rd?
The Raiders were down decent amount. I'm actually looking at the wrong year. My bad. I'm an idiot.
I think they were 23rd.
Yeah. So I was looking at the previous year. So, excuse me. The Cowboys were 19th with 39, and then last year the Raiders were 24th with 32. So I guess tied for 24th with 32. So, edge Cowboys, but Dallas did just lose Quinn, and they still got some major needs on that defensive line where there's not a lot of bodies in place at the moment. You have DeMarcus Lawrence. Tristan Hill was a bust in year one. I think Antoine will do that, but he's not a pass rusher. You have Tyrone Crawford for now. I guess he's your other defensive end, but you got Kerry Hyder, Christian Covington, Michael Bennett. You don't have bodies right there right now. Now, they'll add some players in free agency. They'll add other bodies. They'll get some players in the draft as well to help them out. But if you don't allow different moves, frankly, the Raiders, the Raiders' depth chart right now looks better.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple. That's just because of the nature of where we're at right now in the offseason. We can check back in a few weeks or a month, and we'll have a better feel. But as of right now, I still trust Lawrence to have a big bounce back here. That is not going to surprise me whatsoever. But if you look at just the two depth charts as they sit at this exact moment, not even counting Randy Gregory because he's not a sure thing for the Cowboys, Raiders looks better at the moment.
And I'm excited to see the entire season. I know that I can't wait for the Raiders games. To be honest, man, I can't wait for Cowboys games at this point. I just need sports back in my life. So I am excited, though, what this defensive line is going to be able to do, not just this year, not just 2 years from now, but I think if you can really keep some of your core players here for Las Vegas, big-time growth. Big-time growth. So how should Dallas address the needs on the defensive line, Tom? How should they do that?
I think you got to go free agency here. I want to take care of that as best I can because there's a really good defensive line crop out there still. Even though guys like DJ Reader have signed today, even though other players have signed along that defensive line, you can get somebody really good.
Yep.
So I would prefer to take care of defensive line in free agency, then focus on the draft for other areas of need, for example, maybe corner or defensive end if you want to just include interior guys on that front.
So type D for draft or type F for free agency. Again, this is a simulcast on the Raiders Report.
Yes, it is.
And the Dallas Cowboys Report. So for those of you that are wondering, or why are we talking about the Cowboys? That's why, because there was some Cowboys news and Raiders news, so we're coming at you for both.
We're not done with Cowboys players joining the Las Vegas Raiders.
No way.
Jeff Heath is now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders on a 2-year deal worth up to $8 million.
But why?
Special teams and safety help.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So Jeff Heath is now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders as well. Can I get Carl Joseph from you now?
This one's a little peculiar. I mean, Jeff Heath isn't a good. He's kind of, though, just like Eric Harris to me. Like, if you're looking for a quick example, Jeff Heath is Eric Harris to me. Depth. This is a depth move.
I mean, you can start him if you have to.
Sure.
He can play free
but
and strong.
if we're taking Jeff Heath over Carl Joseph, that's a big loss to me. Big loss.
I agree. I would agree.
Because 2 years, $8 million, $4 million a year, I think Carl's obviously going to get maybe I'd say 6, maybe 7. But if this is the reason, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, if it's just a depth play, cool. If this is our solution to being able to figure out safety to pair with Jonathan Abram, won't be as crazy as about that. But this Raiders defense is slowly turning into the Dallas Cowboys. It's pretty crazy. You get Malik Collins. Now you have Heath, and now that pairs with, Jason Witten. It's pretty interesting. There's no doubt about that. So if we're looking here at Jeff Heath's stats, 59 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 7 pass breakups, sure the 0 interceptions, but he is a little bit more of a strong safety to me, which right now, Jonathan Abram should be the strong safety. I think the Raiders need a little bit more of a free safety, and we'll get that updated.
He
63
can play
tackles.
free safety for you.
Okay.
He can play that role, and he's played a little bit of both for the Cowboys in the past. I kind of preferred him almost as a little bit more of a strong safety, but he's a really good athlete. I think that fits for the Raiders. I think it's about the right price tag for him as the Raiders continue to poach all of the former Cowboys who have been there for a long time. A lot of Garrett guys headed over.
This.
So that's another starter the Cowboys have now lost. Is this revenge for Amari Cooper?
I mean,
that out there.
you can have Amari Cooper for $100 million. That is all you. I wanted no part of that. I want no part of the Dallas Raiders. This looks weird. I don't like it. I don't know. I can't do it. Type
Isn't
0.
it the Las Vegas Cowboys,
Oh,
by the way?
That's even worse.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Las Vegas Cowboys.
Oh, that's even worse. No.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, gosh, no. No. I can't do it. Everyone type 0. Oh, my Lord. Everyone type 0.
I want to make a quick note here, by the way, for Jeff Heath in terms of why this probably makes a little bit more sense in terms of what the Raiders are attempting to do with this particular move. The Raiders special teams coach, Rich Bisaccia, who was a longtime Cowboys coach, who knows Jeff Heath very well. Think back to when they signed Kyle Wilbur a couple years ago. It's that exact type of move here. So Jeff Heath has been a really good special teamer for the Cowboys. That's a big loss right there. They now lose a starting safety as well. It was always going to be a big-time need, but safety once again at the forefront here for the Dallas Cowboys of areas to address.
So the Raiders, they add Jeff Heath, they've added Malik Collins, and they've added Jason Witten in just the span of, 90 minutes? It's been a pretty entertaining overall, hour, 90 minutes here for both the Cowboys and for the Raiders. So Jeff Heath, he's now a member of this team, and he's going to, I think, help the team on special teams and on defense. But, again, I think this is more of a depth move, and I understand the connections that he's had. But for me, you're looking at a player who I don't think does anything super splashy, but if you want something safe, you're definitely going safe here with Jeff Heath.
He does sometimes seem to miss some tackles. He's always been the one guy who was able to make some turnovers for the Cowboys, though that did kind of dip the past couple of years with just one, but that was maybe a bit of a scheme issue. So I'm not heartbroken that Jeff Heath is gone. I'm kind of not. I wanted to upgrade over Jeff Heath. So in theory, this will force me to do just that. And I hope that is the path the Cowboys will end up pursuing here, be it in free agency or be it in the draft. So the Cowboys are going to lose players. I know it's frustrating that they haven't signed anybody instead.
Agree.
And then that's probably the annoying part here.
Let's go to the Super Chat because I think it's unbelievably clever.
It's great.
Raiders of the Lost Cowboys.
Who says no?
That's clever. I don't know. Is Ben a Raiders fan? Ben, are you a Raiders fan? Are you a Cowboys fan? That's clever. You can rip on them if you want, Raider Nation, but that's clever. I'm going to tip my cap to you. Appreciate the Super Chat. If you want to get your question here on the show, you can Super Chat us right now. So the Raiders, they add Jeff Heath, Malik Collins, and Jason Witten in just a span of 90 minutes.
Closer to an hour, frankly. This has all come in down.
Oh, yeah, we've only been
very
live for
crazy.
about an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
This has been a pretty crazy day for the Cowboys and the Raiders. With the Cowboys also lost Robert Quinn. They lost Randall Cobb super late last night. It's been something unusual as the Raiders start poaching Cowboys starters. Jeff Heath at safety, Malik Collins on the defensive line. Maybe they end up being kind of rotational guys. But that's where we sit right now at the current moment for the Dallas Cowboys and for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jeff Heath was the boogeyman for some Cowboys fans. Others kind of called him the GOAT. In reality, he was somewhere in the middle. Jeff Heath is a number 3 safety. He can start for you if you need him to. He's going to be a really good special teamer as well, but he's not going to be a dynamic option. So it's fine. It'll work, but if you're banking on Jeff Heath being like an upgrade over a healthy Carl Joseph, I don't think that's what you're going to get. But he is more healthy typically than Carl Joseph.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think when you're looking at this team, one of the biggest reasons why maybe you go out and get a Jeff Heath is because he is healthy, right? So I think all the injuries that racked up for our defense. Think about it last year. When we were sitting there, we lost Jonathan Abram. We lost Carl Joseph. LaMarcus Joyner was battling injuries. Eric Harris had an injury here and there. The amount of injuries that this defense has sustained, especially in that secondary, hopefully with Jeff Heath, you add depth, and hopefully he can stay, healthy. Fingers crossed there. Okay, I like this one a lot. So I want you to type your votes. Do you want us to simulcast NFL Daily? Yes or no? So comment below. So right now we are simulcasting on the Raiders Report and on the Dallas Cowboys Report. And coming up, we're going to do the latest NFL news, rumors. We have a segment around, I believe, Tom Brady. And if you want us to simulcast that, Yes or no?
There's been a lot that's going on around the NFL beyond just the chaos here with the Dallas Cowboys and with the Las Vegas Raiders with Jeff Heath and Jason Witten and Malik Collins all in. There's a lot going on right now. So if you want that, type yes, and we'll keep you covered. We'll do this crazy simulcast stuff where we go live on Cowboys and Raiders and Maine all at the same time for you guys. It's our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. So if that's what you want, type Y for yes. It's fun. It's different. We'll still talk about Jeff Heath and these other moves as part of that show as well. But just for today, we'll try it. See what you guys think. Because we're going to do during the NFL draft potentially as well. Just throwing out some ideas there for you guys.
So again, this is a simulcast on Raiders and Cowboys. I know some people are like, wait a minute, on Raiders, who is this Tom guy? We're live on both channels, and what we were asking you there is if you want us to go live also on our Chat Sports channel, and you'll see what our Chat Sports channel sees. So it won't be about just the Raiders. It won't be about just the Cowboys. It'll be about the entire NFL and what's happening right now in free agency. So right now there was some move that happened. Malik Collins agreed to a deal with the Raiders. The details of that are still to be determined. But this is a big Rod Marinelli move here, and I'm excited.
Yeah. Cowboys let Malik Collins go. They've let Jason Witten go. They let Jeff Heath go. We're focusing on Collins here right now. That's going to be the main focal point here. We don't know what those details are yet at this moment. That's still to be determined, like you mentioned, Mitch. I would venture to say $6 million per year. I'll put that as the over-under. I think that feels about right on that front. Now, we'll go through some more of these moves here. I do want to remind you guys, we forgot to mention this, the simulcast will begin at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4:30 Central Time, 2:30 Pacific for you guys watching out in the Bay Area if you are a Raiders fan. The original move that kickstarted this whole damn thing was Jason Witten.
Jason Witten for 1 year, $4.75 million, and this is another reason, you got to sometimes connect the dots. The Cowboys, they extended Blake Jarwin, which means, well, what's going to happen with Witten? And I think this move, you're going to have to sell me on Witten being a leader because I don't really want him to be on the field taking away snaps from Moreau if he's healthy or, targets away from Waller.
I agree.
If he can be a leader, if he can teach some of our younger players what it takes to have a very successful NFL career, and you're only going to have to pay him, let's say, $2-3 million because of the incentives, I'm okay with that. Yes, I know the deal is up to $4.75 million, but from what it looks like, I'd be pretty shocked if he made the entire 4.7.
Yeah, it might come in more like at 2, 2.5, 3. I think that might be the general overall amount there in terms of what it'll impact the cap for this upcoming season.
So I want you to grade the move. Raiders, they went out, they got Jason Witten for 1 year, $4.75 million, up to $4.75 million. If Foss Moreau isn't fully healthy, and maybe you can sell me on him, let's say getting like 30 catches this year, maybe even a little less than that, but helping out this team, I'd give it a C, but I'm split between C and D, so I guess it's a C minus. It's tough. When it first happened, I was like, wait a minute, why? But I also know what Gruden wants. I know what Mike Mayock wants, and if they do want to help build that culture, and if they do want to build a franchise that does the right things, whether or not Witten's talented anymore, he does do the right things on and off the field. But it wasn't just Witten. He wasn't the only player that went down, signing that went down. Malik Collins, 24-year-old defensive tackle. He's not going to be able to insert into that defensive line. I think it's going to help free up players like Cleveland Ferrell, like a player like Max Crosby. But the big reason here is because Rod Marinelli, former Cowboys defensive coordinator, comes on over now for the Raiders defensive line. So really interested to see what that move is going to end up doing for this defense.
He's going to be at his best as a pass rusher. That's what Malik Collins does well. He just wasn't that great against the run. That's his issues there. So if you don't have to ask him to be a nose like the Cowboys asked him to be at times these past couple years, didn't work out very well, you won't be that disappointed. He'll be a good player for you.
I sure do hope so, Tom. So what's a one-word reaction to the Raiders signing defensive tackle Malik Collins? So don't cheat. Don't give me a 3. No, I want a one-word reaction to the Raiders signing Malik Collins. I'm going to go solid. Solid. Also, I'll say sleeper because Malik Collins was one of my sleeper picks that I had for the Raiders going out and targeting in free agency. I said a lot of what we've mentioned before. Rod Marinelli, the fit with the defense, and just the young age. I see value down there. I think that's a good one. I'm seeing some solid, all right. I'm going to go solid. I'm going to go sleeper. So, because I think that's what Malik Collins was in free agency. He was a solid sleeper.
I think that's fair. I don't know if the money's going to come in a sleeper. I think it might be a little bit above sleeper, but I think solid is a good way to describe it. I think that's what Malik Collins will be for Vegas. He's never going to be an Aaron Donald. Don't expect that whatsoever. But as a rotational defensive lineman, yeah, I think that'll be.
I mean, you're gonna have some fresh legs because Collins, Hankins, P.J. Hall, Mohurst, I think are all pretty solid defensive tackles. Now, sure, none of them are, we'll say absolutely incredible, but they're all good, and they're all, I would say, above average defensive tackles. So you're gonna be able to keep them fresh, which then I think frees up Cleveland Ferrell, which then frees up Max Crosby. Because those are the players I want really going after the quarterback. Now, we'll see whether or not they bring back Benson Mayo, who did have the second most sacks on the team. But for me, this Malik Collins move, I'm a big fan of it. I do think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think of the ones, I would probably rank them, depending on the money that comes in here for Malik Collins, Heath, Witten. That's the order.
Okay. Collins, Heath, Witten. I'm good with that. All right, Tom, why don't you take this one over? Coming up, NFL free agency, news, rumors, and more, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Central, which is our time,
and then
2:30 p.m. Pacific time.
We asked you guys. You voted mostly yes, so we're going to go ahead and do this. An NFL Daily Simulcast. So we will be live with all of our NFL stuff on our main YouTube channel, chatsports.com, or youtube.com/chatsportstv. Our Raiders channel, which we're already live on right now, and our Cowboys channel as well. We'll get to watch that. Now, we do all kinds of live stuff here on our main channel. We do it all the time. This is going to be a more general NFL show. We'll talk about the Cowboys. We'll talk about the Raiders. We got some rumors. We'll do some Q&A in there as well. And we will keep you guys covered on everything that's going around the NFL. There's a lot that's happened in the past hour or so while we've been live focusing on these moves by the Raiders to steal Cowboys players away and out of Dallas. For example, Phillip Rivers. We got updates on Tom Brady for you guys. All of that is coming up in under 5 minutes here, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. That is coming up very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we will continue to discuss what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys, with the Las Vegas Raiders, as the Raiders have poached 3 different players, including Jeff Heath. The Cowboys, meanwhile, have re-signed Darian Thompson to a cheap 2-year, $2.8 million deal. That's going to be a special teamer. That's going to be a depth guy. He's not going to start for the Cowboys unless things really, really go awry for Dallas this offseason.
Yeah, Darian Thompson, I mean, he is 26 years old. Obviously played football at Boise State. Looks like he needs a hat, Tom. So hopefully we can get him a hat there. Chatsports.com/NFL hat. I think, though, when it comes to when you see some of these moves that the Cowboys have made, I think that they've played it a little safe.
I would say that's
understatement.
Borderline cowardly.
Okay. But I like what the Raiders have done. They're being aggressive, and I think that they should be aggressive. So I'm seeing some people, again, this is a simulcast on both the Raiders and the Cowboys channel, so I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So with the move, Jason Witten, he's going to come over to the Raiders. He's kind of, connecting the dots here with Blake Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin, the minute that he signed that extension, it was very clear that Jarwin was going to be tight end 1 for the Dallas Cowboys. Now with Witten gone for sure, it's very clear. That's the route that's going on here for the Cowboys. Now this deal is structured in a very clever way by the Cowboys. It really ends up being a 2 and 2. That's where we're at. 4 years, $24.25. It starts at $3.25 million per year. That's the key right there. So the Cowboys getting Jarwin and locking him up for a long-term deal is critical. And that gives them a tight end 1. Now we will see what route they go long-term with Blake Jarwin. If he's there for more than just 2 years, if he's there for 3 years, if he's there for 4 years, we'll wait and see and find out. But it is structured in such a way that the Cowboys don't have to set it up in that fashion where they haven't locked themselves into a 4-year deal with Blake Jarwin. They've locked themselves into more of a 2-year deal. Then they can easily get out of it. That's all that they have to end up doing. And now they do lose an icon. That is Jason Witten. Witten is an all-time great. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is going to be one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game once he retires for good. He really already is, quite simply. It's a 1-year deal, $4.75 million. That's what it's worth up to. It'll probably come in a little bit less than that. That's what it will end up being. The Cowboys were not going to pay Witten that much. They were not going to give him the role of that much. They wanted to go with Blake Jarwin. They got that route, and then Witten continues to play, surprisingly, with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Malik Collins, meanwhile, on this front, he agreed to a deal with the Raiders. Now, the details at this point are still not yet known. We don't know what these details exactly are. My guess, and it is just a guess right now, this is going to be around a $6 million per year deal. That's about what I think that they're going to end up setting in at. The middle class, quite simply, was squeezed by the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that includes Malik Collins. That's why that's not who he is. All right? But he can generate pressure against the pass. All right? That's the key there thing for the Oakland Raiders. Now,